Alright, so I recently stumbled upon a YouTube video where Formula 1 drivers draw their imaginary F1 tracks. And one of those legends was Lewis Hamilton, a so far 7-time world champion. And that was his idea for the dream F1 track. But if someone knows what's a perfect F1 track, I'm guessing it's probably him. So I decided that I'm gonna turn it into a reality and then race on it. In a racing sim and with my friends. I have friends. Alright, so I started the track making process by following Lewis's Mona Lisa with a curve modifier, and it ended up with this roller coaster. And in my previous video, you guys kept saying, "There's no elevation, there's no elevation." There's your elevation, so shut up. And because it's Lewis's track, in order to respect the brand, we added some Lewis Hamilton barriers around it, and they're really special because every time you crash into them, this sound effect plays. Now, jumping into Assetto Corsa to test the track's durability, I was pretty nervous because if it drives bad, then this entire video will be a total fail.
Lewis Hamilton. Bono, my tires are gone. What do you mean? Your tires look fine.
Anyways, we're getting distracted. To my surprise, the track actually felt pretty good until the Sector 3 corners came around.
This is just stupid.
You see, the Sector 3 corners were so sharp and aggressive that you couldn't really carry any speed through them, making them boring and slow to race on. I really had to figure something out, but more on that in a second. So I created some gravel runoff areas and some buildings in order to add some variety to the track, as well as some quick landscape. And then I also made this pretty cool bridge. Pretty cool. Then I decided it's time to make some curbs, and while working on the texture, I accidentally inverted the colors and thought, oh, that looks pretty nice. So bam, I decided to keep it. After that, I just started throwing some random stuff to the surface, like this green part of the curb, adds, and some asphalt to break up the grass texture, just to make it look a bit more like a circuit. And to be honest with you, it was working out. And also, I made this fence here. Nice. So I kept using this technique for the entirety of the track, and also breaking up the asphalt texture with a different asphalt texture every now and then. Now, coming down to the street circuit part of the track, as you can see, I made the wall super close to the road, and I hope these sharp corners are gonna make the racing just a bit more exciting. Then there's the second tricky S-turn that kind of reminds me of the Monaco swimming pool turn. And then we come to Sector 3, which is just turn after turn, and in order to make every corner distinguishable from one another, I had to get creative, like for example adding a small road over here, or like in this example using huge adds on the floors. Remember how I complained about these corners? Here's the section of the track that I altered in order to promote better, more interesting racing, just by turning this corner sequence into a straight. So starting off with a huge straight here, which will hopefully give some opportunity for some DRS overtaking, we're going into a first tight corner, which is not really tight, but you do need to brake for it. You want to brake here and enter this corner just right. Like that. And this is Lewis's, I think, favorite part of the track that he made up. It's this roller coaster, and he named it like that himself. Pedal to the metal. You want to stick to the inner side because the corner gets wider as you go up, and then you go over the bridge, and then you have to brake downhill, but you have to be very careful not to lock up, as well as go to the right side so you can take a nice apex into this corner right here. And the exit is very important as well, not to hit the barriers. As we all know, this is the street circuit part of the track, so you have to be very close to the barriers but not hit them, obviously. And then this here, there is a safe area, runoff area right there. Another tricky corner here, as you can see. And then this is the final corner of the street circuit, and we're slowly entering the purpose-built circuit. Then we're coming into the corner that I decided to modify and turn it into a straight. And then here we have a little terrain shift, which you guys commented on my previous video that there was not enough of that. Would I get more elevation? Yes, but now it is a little too late. But yeah, there is enough elevation, I think, especially with the roller coaster turns. I did not expect this from that drawing. Looking back, this kind of looks like a Windows wallpaper. Coming back to modeling, I made some 3D steel pipe structures that I rendered and turned into 2D textures for optimization purposes. Turns out it looks great. Speaking of textures, I made some concrete barrier ones and applied them to a 3D mesh. I just can't wait to destroy my front wing with these in every single turn. And then I started working on the brake markers, but I couldn't really manage to work it out with the image that I found on the internet. So I had to make one from scratch. Yeah, that looks good enough. Browsing the web, I found an image of this bad boy, so I used it to create a 3D model. Ta-da! And you know what? I think putting some advertisements here would be a good idea. So I'll just ask my Discord server to send over some pictures that I should put on the truck. Okay, let's give these guys a second while we finish some details on the track. And after finishing props like cars and some bridges, ad banners, etc., it was time to add them all to the track for the final touch. Modeling my way up the roller coaster and then slowly descending to the street circuit, you'll notice that I started adding more trees and ads because that is the easiest way to add extra detail. As for the buildings, their textures will be changed soon into something more realistic. I'm not gonna lie, right now they kind of look like I pulled them straight from Cyberpunk. This is my favorite thing to model, where I create some audience stands by only using my custom metal pipes texture I mentioned before. Okay, it's been some time, so let's see what pictures you guys have sent me. I somehow managed to find some appropriate photos, and make sure to give up when it gets really hard. Also, Mattia Binotto, Employee of the Month for Red Bull Racing. If you follow Formula 1, this is funny. And of course, you f***ers sent me Among Us pictures as well. Like, why? Oh, and remember Alonso? Or should I say... Arnold. So after placing those trucks where they need to be, I started working on the pit stop. And the pit stop entrance here is quite difficult because, as you can see, if you get understeer in this corner, you'll just end up in the barrier right here. And if you know me, you know that I do pit stop entrances like a pro.
That didn't happen.
Also, as always, all my patrons have been credited on my track right here on the bridge so they can finally have an F1 car run over them. So if you want an F car running over you, if, you know, you're into those sort of things, or just want to download my tracks and race online, you can join my Patreon. The links are in the description. So I finally replaced the building textures, and you know what? It's not perfect, but it gets the job done. And finally, I made some pit boxes, and actually, I almost like how they turned out. But yeah, after the pits, I made the starting grid with 25 slots and also some starting lights. One funny thing I noticed when driving around the track is that I always seem to crash right here in this opening. So instead of closing it off like a normal person, I thought it would be funny to make a sign that every time someone crashes here, they are being called out on their terrible driving skills. But all in all, now that we're finally done, I think it's pretty cool how we went from this to this. Okay, that was actually a pretty cool transition. I think we should do it again. From this to this. Yeah. Right. Enough messing around, and here's the moment you've all been waiting for. Welcome to the first ever Lewis Grand Prix circuit race, standing at 2.9 kilometers in length, featuring 3 DRS zones, with the third zone being only 90 meters long. 20 turns in this track, with the first sector really giving a lot of G-forces through the corners 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we get to the giant turn 7, in which the car can reach up to 295 kilometers per hour on the incline, putting those tires in the high temperature range, which makes the car prone to spinning out. Coming down to the street part of the circuit, which contains sharp turns 8, 9, and 10, with tight barriers making it a no room for error zone. Sector 3 consists of the most challenging turns on the track, turns 13 through 20. When your tires start degrading, this is where you will be feeling it the most. Welcome everyone to Lewis Grand Prix 2022.
There's so much smoke on the track. You can't see a thing. Yes! Yes! Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh my god. Come on, come on, come on. We got him, we got him, we got him. No! 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 There's people crashing left and right. Oh my god. Never mind. I can see myself doing this for a living, for sure. Just making tracks and racing on them. I feel good about this lap. We were a second quicker. This guy did a 157. I mean, we're not winning this for sure. So let's just have fun at this point.
So with other guys putting in astonishing lap times, and with me not being able to improve, after a week of non-stop modeling and perfecting of this track, the cars are finally aligned on the grid and ready to race.
So much smoke. Let's be careful. Let's try not to kill ourselves in the first lap. At least not in the first lap. Remember, we're playing the long game. Bro, we'll have DRS zones later. We can overtake later.
And while some of us had bad starts, other drivers just couldn't keep their car on the track. And I was becoming a little bit skeptical if the same fate awaits me in the next few corners.
Easy now, easy now. Let's not finish in the walls. Bro, these guys are so fast.
And that was expected, but what I did not expect, however, was that Sector 3's corners actually had a lot of overtaking opportunities, and I was a perfect guinea pig for this demonstration.
We're disrespecting the track limits so much.
I then lost the position, but gained it back quickly in the next lap purely because of my overtaking skills.
Oh my god! And that puts us up to third place.
Now, obviously, there were a few crashes here and there, but this one definitely takes the crown. And speaking of overtaking...
Oh, someone crashed, someone crashed, someone crashed. This is our chance. Now all we need to do is protect the second position, right?
And that's exactly what I did. I was actually about to overtake and lap this guy, but he was kind enough to move out of the way himself.
He
He hit the he hit the sign. It's a lot of smoke right there, bro. It's all about the consistency. As long as we don't crash, we're finishing in the second place. Okay, we're still going. We're still going. No. By the way, guys, there's a really cool shortcut right here. Well, that didn't go as planned. Never mind, we'll try that again. And so we tried again. Just hope it works this time. There we go, I just scored a purple sector. And again. And again. But unfortunately, that was not enough for us to gain a position, so we'll just have to settle for a third place finish. So it's safe to say we had a lot of fun racing on the track that at first sight seemed impossible to race on, but after making a few compromises, it actually turned out to be a solid place for burning some rubber. What was that? Subscribe and like a bye-bye.